What's up, boys? It's your boy, Saroni Macaroni MMA, back in the video here. And today we're gonna be going over almost all the confirmed, main events so far, leading up to UFC 330. We're not gonna be talking about, Dan Hooker versus the France guy for the France card. I'm not gonna be talking about Mike Malott versus Joaquin Buckley. That's gonna be on you either, because those are like kind of new, and like I'll make separate videos on those cards as well, and doing card builder for the Edmonton card as well. Anyways, like I just want to talk about these main events because like a lot, like the matchmakers are feeding us good fights, bro. Some of these cards in here may not have like the best fights surrounding, like not the best main card, not the best prelims surrounding the main, like the main event, but the main events of themselves are really good, very entertaining. I believe all these fights are that I'm talking about here should be like top tier, you know, entertaining fights. And we're also talking about some fight news as well that's being brought up here that I just want to talk about a little bit. And the Joaquin Bucky Mike Malott is going to be on here too, but I just want to bring it up, talk about some fights. Some fights I'm really gonna be talking about fights I'm interested in, about like guys I like, guys I root for. That's really why. But anyway, let's get into this, and let's start off with the first main event here, that being Uros Medic versus Daniel Rodriguez this Saturday, UFC Belgrade, Serbia. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this fight seems extremely one-sided, but I actually do like this fight a lot. Uros Medic is a guy who's been rising in the rankings for some time in the welterweight division. Very interesting fighter. This dude is like a bunch of sneaky KO power. Not sneaky KO power, like he does it. He's done it plenty of times. But like, what I'm trying to say is like this dude is really good at what he does. He's a highlight reel type of fighter. He's one of my favorite fighters in the welterweight division. I wouldn't say he's a prospect because of his age, and he's been in the UFC for like 5 years. But like these past, like he's on a win streak right now. Yours Mitchell's on a win streak, 3-5 win streak, KO win streak. He's KO'd Gilbert Urbina, Muslim Salikov, and then he had a nasty highlight reel, like it was all over Instagram, my feed, and YouTube, where he like did like a spinning, not fuck, oh wait, let me think. What was it again? I'm trying to think. When he KO'd Jeff Neal. Oh my God, that was crazy. I think it was like a spinning. Uh, It was like a spinning elbow, I think, or I think he just knocked him down with punches. Hold on, I'm trying to think. No, no, no. He knocked him down with punches. That's what happened. I don't know why I thought it was a spinning elbow. I don't know why. I'm thinking of a whole different fight, but he knocked him down with punches. But he landed one clean straight jab to Jeff Neal, bro, and then knocked him down badly. He did a bunch of combos on him right before he knocked him down, which is a crazy knockout, bro. It was like it was cool. That's all. I was like that. That's all I gotta say. This guy makes things happen. Now we have D-Rod, another guy who also has a good amount of highlights in the UFC. Has been some top competition in the UFC. I mean, he's versed like Ian Gary, he's versed Neil Magny, he versed Kevin Holland's last fight. Remember that? He versed Kevin Gastelum. Like he's versed a lot of top guys, and he's been in the UFC for some time. That's one thing. And I remember like this whole thing, like I'd even we had no idea about this, but like this dude was in jail after his last fight. He was in jail for 8 months, bro. But he's been training in jail. Like we've seen clips, videos, all this of him, training in jail, getting ready for any upcoming fights. And D-Rod's ready for this fight. But like to me, this fight is not close, bro. It is not a close fight. I do think Uros Medic gets this done in like round two. I think round one, D-Rod's gonna last, through round one for sure. For sure gonna last. But I think Uros Medic is like the power he has is just gonna like it's like I don't think D-Rod's ever versed a guy like this who like just like has that knockout ability like Uros Medic. Uros Medic is hopefully gonna rise in the rankings. I mean, if he beats D-Rod, like he's gonna rise because if D-Rod's 15, he's 14th ranked in the division. Might be vice versa, but I'd still like would say like this pretty good. But you know, but like I would say D-Rod's like extremely durable, and he can last one round. He has a good pace. He knows what he'll be doing. I would say he has an edge in the grappling area when it comes to that, like the grappling for sure. But the fight's gonna stay on the feet, bro. D-Bar wants to bang with somebody, bro. But I feel like if he's getting pieced up a little too much, he might want to resort to the ground game just because that's a smart decision to do against a guy like this. But he does mention the speed, has the explosive power. He's fighting in Serbia too, so like this, if he won here, that'd be an amazing one for him. And I mean, sadly, I do want to watch this fight, but I won't. Like it starts at 7 a.m. and the main card is at like 10. But I do have to go to work that day, bro. And it sucks. I do want to watch this, but it is what it is, man. I'll just come back and rewatch it, go over it, see it, like see what happens. Because most people that I've seen talk about this fight, they have Medic winning this by like knockout and like round 1, round 2. And I have Medic winning this by round 2 knockout. The speed is crazy on this dude. Explosive, like I just said earlier. This guy really good. I'll take Medic for sure in this. Now let's move on to the next scheduled main event after this. That being Killing Salkilmai versus Matiz Gamrot, the gamer, Matiz Gamrot. This fight is, bro, when this fight got announced, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm kind of scared for Quillen Salkilmai, bro, because this is gonna be his toughest fight. This is gonna be his toughest fight in the UFC versus like it's I believe this is his first like ranked matchup. Actually, no, I'm not totally sure about that, but I know that this is gonna be his toughest fight. This is a ranked matchup, bro. It's because really of Gamrot's wrestling and like his experience in the UFC, bro. But like the wrestling aspect of Matiz Gamrot is like I feel like Quillen Salkilmai would like he knows how to fight against that. And this guy, and also Gamrot's a pretty good grappler as well. Like he always tries to find submissions when he gets on the ground too. I feel like Quillen Salkilmai, he doesn't have bad takedown defense, but like around this guy like Matiz Gamrot, it's gonna be really hard to stop this guy from taking you down, controlling you. Like obviously Gamrot's coming off a win against Esteban Ribovic, his submission win. Like he's fought Oliveira, he's fought down, he's fought Fazita, he's fought a lot of good guys in lightweight. Like he has experience. Like this is not his first rodeo fighting a top guy in the division, bro. And also he has a win over Armin Zurkin, by the way. I forgot to mention that, but that's 2022 armor, not current armor. But still, that's still a good one. Still a good one because he ages well. But I do think in this fight, the Gamrot, it's just that his pace, his cardio is really good, and like a wrestler who has really good cardio, and a fight is scary, bro, because they'll never stop. Especially guys who really just want to take you down and hold you there. And maybe try to throw like a ground and pound on you, try to finish you like that way. But like still, guys like that are scary, bro, because they will never stop until the fight is over. Now with Quillen Salkilmai though, dude, don't count this guy out. He definitely can win this fight for sure. I would say I would give Salkilmai the striking. He has a bunch of finishes, first round finishes. Remember his knockout against Nasrat Haqparast. Crazy knockout. Remember we knocked out Beneil Dariush, another top guy who, they're just kind of chinny. But still, that's still a really good fighter. He still can fight at a high level today. So that's still a good win. Don't count Salkilmai on that. But this guy is a highlight reel. It's kind of like Medj I was talking about before. These guys both are highlight reel knockout artists. That's what they do. They're really good at what they do. And I would say he's also a pretty explosive fighter as well with like his punches, bro. Cause like if he lands one clean strike and you just like Medic, bro, like it's over. He's done it. He's done it quite a few times in the UFC, bro. He can show you how quickly he can end fights, bro. How quickly he can do it. He's a big lightweight. He has good footwork, good movement on the map. I also do like his ground game. His ground game is really good. His grappling is pretty good. He has good mass submission wins too. So you can also get that from that, like that his grappling, like he has grappling. He's not a one-dimensional fighter. Like he has both the striking game and the ground game. And Gamera also has the ground game, but I would say Sokka's the better striker in this fight for sure. But this fight really is gonna determine, I feel like it's really gonna be like, Gamrot's wrestling versus Killing Sokka's grappling. That's how it's really gonna be like how good can this guy be to submit Gamrot? And if I would take Quillen Salkut on this fight. I think he could submit Gamrot or win by decision. But I do think this fight is on the feet. He can outstrike Gamrot. He can really, push him back, kind of keep his distance a little bit because he's the longer guy, like I said. But Gamrot's gonna be aggressive, bro. If Salkut can push Gamrot off him, like his aggressiveness off him, and the pressure he puts on this guy, then he can definitely win this fight and move up and fight even tougher guys than Gamrot. And this will be the biggest win of his career for sure. But anyways, I'll take Colin Salkut for sure. This guy's a dangerous dude, very dangerous on the ground, on the feet, whatever, bro. This guy is nice. Anyway, let's move on to the next main event we have here. That being Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Gary. Now, I am gonna make like a deep dive on this video and talk about it a little bit, a deep dive on this fight and talk about it a little bit more because this fight is really interesting. And I don't like how a lot of people are just saying Islam is going to win in round one by knockout. That's incorrect to me. That's not a good. I mean, it's not incorrect, but anything can happen in this fight. But I just think this fight is so like this is gonna be one of Islam's not as toughest fight, but a very interesting matchup just because Islam has not fought many guys like Ian Gary's size. Ian Gary is around like 6 foot. Islam is shorter side, below 5'10". I think he's 5'10" actually. But Ian Gary's height advantage has a reach advantage, and I think in this fight, Ian Gary really is going to show people how good he is. Like we know how good he is, but he's really going to show like he can keep up with like the champ in the welterweight division. That being Islam Makhachev. And I would say a really big positive thing about Ian Gary's fighting style is that he has really good distance management, really good. And I feel like he's just not going to like he's really good at stuffing takedowns. He can keep his distance against Islam. Islam's gonna try. We always know Islam's gonna try and take him down with the wrestling, even submit him. Look for a finish on the ground. We know what Islam does when it comes to the ground game. We know what he does. We've seen it so many times before that it's like already in our mind. Okay, when you see Islam fighting, we know he's gonna do this on the ground for sure. Gonna happen. He's gonna have a bunch of takedown attempts, but I do think Ian Gary's gonna have a really good. He's gonna do a really good job of stuffing those takedowns and actually, lasting on the ground with Islam, and that'd be a really impressive feat, bro. Because there's not many guys who can do that with Islam, bro. Islam's one of those guys who are like, he's just that good that like, if you would get a win over him like this, it'll be insane, crazy insane, crazy. But like in this fight, I've been looking at it, a lot of people have been talking about it as well. Like like the height and the reach advantage will be very difficult for Islam because if he can't close the distance between him and Ian Gary, then this fight could really be against him, and he could lose. But I also do think even if Islam wins this fight, like this would be a really good win. I think Islam might retire this fight actually, which would be like I mean, fair enough to him. I mean he's 35, I believe. Like been in the UFC for a long time. He's been on a run. He's on like a 16 win streak. No, I think it's longer than that. Maybe longer than that. I'm not sure, but I believe he's on a 16 fight win streak. Crazy. Like this dude been on a crazy run. He is a UFC Hall of Famer. He is a UFC GOAT for sure. But I do think Ian Gary has a really good chance in this fight. Like this fight is not like one-sided. This fight is pretty evenly matched in terms of how good these guys are. And people are saying Islam's gonna win by like whatever he wants in round one. It's like, no, bro. Really look at this fight and see, okay, how good is this matchup, bro? Like this matchup is closer than you think. I also think Ian Gary has a really good fight IQ, bro, and like it'll be really hard. Like I think he's not gonna make any mistakes in this fight. He's gonna really know what he's doing against Islam because Islam is obviously one of the best. Probably no, not one of the best. He is the best current fighter in the UFC, bro. And Ian Gary, he's coming off a win against, like, he beat Carlos Prates, bro. And Carlos Prates will give Islam trouble too in a fight. Like the toughest matchups in welterweight for Islam would be Ian Gary, number one contender, Carlos Prates, and Michael Morales. Because all three of those guys are long, lanky dudes. Prates is a power guy. Morales is a power knockout guy. Ian Gary is a crafty, lanky guy as well. Not as much power as Carlos Prates, as probably the hardest hit in the UFC, and Michael Morales, but still a really crafty guy on the feet. Like, we've seen what this guy can do to people, bro. Like, I remember, let's go over a fight of Ian Gary. I remember, like, in like 2023 when he fought Neil Magny, that fight, he showed off what he can do against a guy like at the time Neil Magny was ranked. Neil Magny was ranked. He was not a top guy in welterweight, but he was still a ranked fighter. And Ian Gary showed it. He was like, you know what? I'll beat this guy up, and he did for 3 rounds. He dominated him. He knocked him down so many times. I think it was like 50-40. Like, he beat Neil Magny so bad that Neil Magny's reputation went down way worse than it was. And I like Neil Magny. He's not bad to me. He's a crafty vet in the UFC. Crafty. We know what he can do. But Ian Gary showed he has levels to this, bro. He versed Shavkat, right? That fight, obviously, that's obviously his only loss on his resume. But he still lasted with Shavkat. He still, stood toe to toe with him. He proved that he can, last with his guys. And Shavkat, I think Shavkat eventually, honestly, could have won the belt. Like, he could have been welterweight, but that's a different story for another time. Ian Gary beat Carlos Prates. Like, this dude has beaten top guys before, and Islam is no different. Islam is the best champion, obviously, but Islam would this fight is gonna be this fight is so much hype to, I believe, just really because this fight could go any way, and there's so many outcomes to this that I really want to get into, but I'll say that for the video I'm gonna make on this fight specifically. But I do think that I would take Islam Makhachev in this fight just because I think the way his wrestling, his relentless pressure on the ground is so good. Like, I feel like Ian Gary, he would know what to do in situations like that, but Islam's gonna be so relentless. He might gas out Ian Gary. Like, we know Islam can keep up 5-round fight. We know he won't gas himself out doing this, bro. We know Islam is gonna last, bro. Really good cardio, good pace, good pacing. He knows what he's doing. So I think he really, tired out Ian Gary to like this fight's not going to decision, but I think by round 4, maybe in beginning of round 5, Ian Gary's gonna be so tired that he won't won't be able to keep up with the pressure of Islam's wrestling, and Islam's gonna take him down, control him, and he even could finish him. A good old TKO finish, ground and pound him. But anyways, I'll fight the Islam Makhachev, bro. This fight's really good, and I like it a lot. But let's move on to the next main event we have here. After UFC 330, we have this UFC Sacramento. We have Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. This fight is going to be really good, bro. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. This fight is gonna be really good, but I'm kind of scared for Fluffy, bro. I'm kind of scared for him, bro. Hear me? I'm kind of scared for him. I'm kind of scared, bro. I think, yes, this fight's gonna be really good, but I do think that, bro, RoboCop's power is so scary, dude. It's you just don't know what he's gonna do. You don't know, because he has lost in the UFC before. But this dude's knockout power is extreme. He scares me with what he can do to people on the feet and in the middleweight division, bro. This dude's scary. And almost all of his wins in the UFC are by knockout. He's knocked out almost everybody, bro, in his fights. I mean, and in a couple of his fights he has lost by knockout. He lost to Jerry Cannonier. Right. He lost to Bruno Ferreira. That was kind of surprising to me. But he's beating guys like Jack Hermanson, Brad Tavares, Chitty Joe Connie, Roman Kyle. He's beating guys who are not, some guys at the top, some guys who are ranked, some guys who are still good comp in the middleweight division. He's proven himself to be a really good fighter still. But the fact of the matter is that I just feel bad for Fluffy Hernandez, because this matchup is a lot of people are gonna take RoboCop in this fight, but I think Fluffy has a good chance of winning this fight, bro. We know what he can do. He's also a pressure fighter. Like he pressures his opponent. He controls the fights. He forces exchanges. So this fight's gonna stay on the feet. For sure gonna stay on the feet. This fight is gonna be on the feet for sure. But I'm kind of scared because in these exchanges, if he forces an exchange for like RoboCop, it's going to be like difficult for him to, really like this dude, bro. It's just insane how much power this guy has, bro. Like he has like so many knockout wins in the UFC. He just like, and most of his wins are like in like round one. Most of his wins come like about round one. Some are like late round, but most like late round three, early round three, whatever. Most of his wins come from round one. It's too scary. But I think Fluff has a good chance. And if this fight goes to the ground, I think he like Fluffy would still be good on the ground, bro. Like in this fight, he's not gonna give RoboCop the chance to rest, bro. And Fluffy can last 5 rounds. We know he has good cardio. We've seen him last a long time in a fight, bro. We know what he can do. But I do think like he's not going to like I would take RoboCop in this fight, but Fluffy he still has a high chance of winning this, bro. Definitely. He can take down RoboCop. He can stay on the field with him. If he lands a good shot on RoboCop, he definitely stun him. But like I would still take RoboCop by like round 3 finish, a knockout. But this is a really hard fight. This is probably the hardest fight on here to really like think about who's gonna win. Just because, bro, like these like RoboCop's power is insane, and plus Fluffy Hernandez is still a really good guy in the middleweight division, despite losing to Sean Strickland as a champion. Still, bro, he's still a really good fighter. But we can move on to the next fight, and that being Umar Nurmagomedov versus Song Yadong. Now, this is gonna be the main event to the Chinese card. They do every year. You know the China cards they do of a bunch of Chinese fighters. But this fight is gonna be really good, bro. First of all, we have Umar Nurmagomedov, who we know extremely well. We know what he does. Dagestani wrestler type fighter. He is coming off a win against Davison Figueiredo. He beat Figgy. He beat Batista. He's beat a lot of top guys, but he does. We obviously know. Like we're not new to this. We obviously know he lost to Marab. And the fight was close though, very close fight. But he did lose to Marab. They kind of get thrown around a little bit in that fight, but he's still a really good. He's an elite grappler, regular wrestler. He has that Dagestani type, the chain wrestling they do. He knows how to control people on the ground really well. Like he's extremely hard to keep off the ground because he wants to keep you on the ground and get a finish off you, or just control you. He can get a finish off you. Now we have Song Yadong, who is a really good boxer, dangerous. He throws dangerous punches all the time. Good counter striker, has good combination in his fights. He's a durable guy. He can absorb big shots, and he can also pressure Umar a lot in this fight. And that can make, and we've seen what pressure does to Umar. It can make him uncomfortable in a fight for sure, for sure. But I do think I will take Umar Nurmagomedov in this fight just because the amount of takedowns he does in his fights. I think Song Yadong, obviously, he's gonna last. Like I said, he's a durable guy, durable fighter. But I just think Umar is really going to just relentless takedowns. Like if I were to compare Umar to a guy like literally Umar, Islam, those are two guys who are gonna try to take you down as much as they can, bro. But Islam, I would say Islam is definitely the better striker, and he's like keep fights on the feet as well. He doesn't go straight to wrestling, but Umar, he's a wrestler, bro, in my opinion. Wrestler. But I feel like if Song Yadong can keep this fight on the ground, if he just stuffs a bunch of Umar's takedowns, Umar just gives up on the takedown. Like I feel like Umar wouldn't do that, but like if he just gives up on the takedown attempts, and this fight stays on the feet, Song Yadong is going to knock out Umar for sure. For sure. The knockout power Song Yadong has is really dangerous, and Umar is not the type of guy that to last that long in a striking fight with a guy like Song Yadong, bro. It's just not. I would see something happening. And if this fight does stay on the feet, this fight will end early. I would give it like round 3, bro. Round 2, like in the middle, like almost half to the halfway point of the fight. It would end if the fight's on the feet. But I'll take Umar's because I think Umar's takedowns are going to be really dangerous. You're going to take Song Yadong down relentlessly, and he won't gas himself out either. He cuts himself a little bit, but like he's gonna last it long enough for he's gonna get the win over just control time and win by decision. So I'll take Umar Nurmagomedov by decision. This is a really good fight though. I like this fight a lot. I do want to see someone get a win here because he needs a win. To me, did lose to Sean O'Malley, but really good fight. And this and the card they have on here is like it's not looking bad either. So we can move on to the next. Now, after we've gone over all the fights, we do have some fight news here. First of all, before I even go into Larion Douglas, who's one of my favorite upcoming fighters in the UFC. First of all, let's get into Aaron Blankfield versus Jasmine Jasudavicius, which it was canceled. Supposed to be on UFC 330. Supposed to be on the main card of UFC 330. Well, like this fight, I know a lot of people don't really care about it, which that's fair. Honestly, it makes sense. I mean, I don't really care for that much, but like this fight has a lot of I wouldn't say a hype to it, but it makes sense because um they're both ranked, they're both top ranked in their division. I do like Jasmine Jasudavicius. I like Aaron Blank. Aaron's solid, but like I like this fight a lot in terms of like the rankings and like how much it matters. But it's being canceled. But I know it's been moved as a co-main event to Edmonton. I feel like that was gonna be inevitable, bro. Like they're Canadians, bro. Canadians, bro. Like if I got canceled, it was gonna be a Canada card Edmonton after it got announced. Like I knew that I was like, you know what, this fight gets canceled, bro. It's gonna be on UFC Edmonton, and I was right. It's a co-main event on UFC Edmonton to the main event of Michael Milan, Joaquin Buckley. But anyway, so let's get into this fight here. Announced on the Sacramento card, we have Larion Douglas versus Jamal Emmers. Now this fight is gonna be really. I like this fight. I like this fight. This fight's gonna stay on the feet though. I know Jamal Emmers is a guy who likes to make some takedowns of his fights. Try to clinch here and there, make some control in a fight if he needs to. He's good size for the division. He has solid movement. He's kind of quick a little bit, but Larion Douglas, we know this guy does, bro. This guy's a finisher. He ends fights quickly, bro. Like literally, I remember watching this dude on the Contender Series, bro, when he fought what's his name, Cam T, and like that finish was insane, bro. He just flatlined him. He destroyed him, and then he beat Julian Rosa knockout. He just finished him. Was another established veteran in the UFC. I will say Jamal Emmers could definitely take down Larion Douglas, but Larion Douglas knows how to get back up from takedowns. He's not new to grappling. Like it's not like wrestling, like all that. Like he knows what to do, stuff like that. But this fight to me is gonna be a boxing match for sure. Two guys in the feet. I'll take Larion Douglas for sure. That's an easy knockout win, in my opinion. I think Larion Douglas he just beats up this guy, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He just beats up Jamal Emmers, bro. I like Jamal Emmers. He's solid, but he just beats him up, man. That's all I gotta say. He just beats him up. But anyways, we can move on here. But I am excited for this fight. I like Larion Douglas a lot. I want to see this guy, move up and get to the rankings, bro. Because this guy is really good, really good. Can move on. We have two other fights on here. I brought this up. I added these two fights in just because like I like two of these fighters on both of the sides here. I like Diego Martinez, but I like Dan Ige better. But for the first fight, this fight's gonna be added to UFC Noche. It's gonna be Dan Ige versus Diego Martinez on UFC Noche. I feel like Diego Martinez is like he's probably gonna be in this card, but like he's obviously of Mexican descent. We know that. And Dan Ige, another established veteran in the UFC. He's had a lot of fights in the UFC. He's coming off a loss to Melchizedek Costa, which is a sad loss. Like I didn't want to see Dan Ige lose like that, get finished like that. But things happen. But I will say, I do think David Martinez is gonna win this fight. Not, like this. I want to be, lenient a little bit. I'm kind of lenient to Dan Ige, so I'll take by round 2. I think Dan Martinez, this guy's really speedy, really quick guy in the feet, and I think it's gonna be hard for a guy like Dan Ige to really catch up with Dan Martinez. Like Dan Martinez has the boxing. Like Dan Ige is not a bad fighter. We know that. Dan Ige, he can do his thing, bro. But I just think that David Martinez is just so good, so quick. speedy guy, good boxing. He has knockout power to him. That he's gonna beat Denige up in round one and then end up finishing him off in round two. It's just sad to say. I don't want to say that about Denige. I like Denige a lot. But I'm just being honest here, man. But I'll take Dale Martinez here. And the next fight we have on here would be Ignacio Bahamondes versus Muslim Salikov. I forget which card this was gonna be on. And it's gonna be like a later card, not a card's coming up like in like next 2 weeks, like a later card. There's gonna be some time for this. It's gonna be some time until this fight happens. But I would say this fight is really good. I want to see Ignacio Bahamondes get a win, bro. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, bro. And I think he can win this fight. Muslim Salikov is pretty old, but that's not. You shouldn't really take his age into factor in this fight because this guy is still pretty good. He hasn't fought in a minute though. And it's funny that I bring up Salikov because his last fight he literally fought Euros match and got knocked out in round one. And we already talked about Euros match. We know how good this guy is. So there's the Muslim Salikov versus Narbonne. This fight is really interesting because both these guys have kicking in their fighting style. They're very kick heavy guys. But let's go on to Salikov first. Salikov, he has the kicking. He has explosive striking power. Trust me on that, bro. This guy he's pretty good at what he does. He has like a bunch of finishes in the UFC, but not in the UFC, just like on the regional scenes. But like this guy finishes most of his fights in like round one, from what I've seen like on the regional scene. But this dude's resume in the regionals, bro. This dude, he was undefeated. He has a couple losses, but like this dude just was knocking out everybody. But anyways, he obviously has like he's in the Dagestani chain wrestling background. Like, he has like the wrestling and the ground game in him. I would say he's another guy who has a pretty good distance management. He knows to keep a distance against people in a fight. He knows what to do. He knows if he can close the distance or keep. But like in this fight, he's gonna need to close the distance because Ignacio Bahamondes has a longer reach. Extremely like he's another lanky, tall guy in welterweight who's like come on, bro. Like this dude, like if you've seen like him fight, bro, the way he fights is different. I mean, he's not welterweight. He's a lightweight, but so Saka's a welterweight. I forgot what this fight gonna be at. I don't know if it's gonna be at welterweight, lightweight. I forgot. I don't know what this fight's gonna be. I forgot what it said and like when I looked at the news. But this is gonna be a really good fight, bro. We can get into Bahamondes a little bit, bro. And also, Salako is a pressure fighter. He pressures people in his fights a lot. But Bahamondes, I say, very kick heavy fighting style. Long frame, long reach. He outreaches Salikov for sure. He's bigger than Salikov in terms of like his size, and he's longer, his height. But and also, a lot of people don't know this about Bahamondes, but he has a amateur boxing like background, and he's fought in a good amount of amateur boxing fights. So this guy can strike on the feet. He definitely has good boxing for sure. Better boxing than Salikov, I would say. He does a lot of stand switching in his fights, which that's pretty good, pretty impressive on him, and he's good footwork. He's a good grappler. We've seen him get submission wins in the UFC before, so we're not new to that. But I do think I want this fight to be on the feet. This fight's gonna be a really good fight. Like these two fights are really good, but this fight's gonna be really good. This fight's gonna be probably pretty bloody, a pretty bloody fight, bro. Trust me. This fight can last long enough. This is a really good match. I like this matchup a lot. Hopefully it doesn't cancel, or move to a different card and like stays on the card it is, bro. Because I like this fight. But this fight's gonna stay on the feet, bro, for sure. It's a really good fight on the feet. I do think I would take Bahamondes. He needs a win here. Salikov, he's come from a loss, I think, too. Yeah, to Medic. I mean, but like this dude's old, bro. He might even retire this fight. But still, Bahamondes, I'll take him by like a knockout. Round 3, some close distance. He could kick him, front kick, some shit like that, spinning egg, some shit like that, and knock out Salikov. Be a crazy knockout. But anyways, we can move on. I'm excited for these two fights. And I'm excited, bro. Got a lot of fight news coming up in the future, and a lot of fight news that's been coming out past couple of days. That's like really, I'm like excited for those fights I've been seeing. But we can move on. Next up, we have Dan Hooker versus Saladin Parnasse. This is going to be the UFC France main event, and I can't really speak on this fight too much because I have not done film much on Saladin Parnasse. That much I don't really know too much about this guy. I do know he won the KS, like he was in KSW. That's where also Matisse Gamrot was in too. He was pretty good in that too. But this guy I know has a lot of highlight reels of him just like ground and pound finishing people. But I can't speak on this guy since I haven't watched like full fights. I don't really know. I know this guy is good. He has knockout power, but I don't know about his ground game. I don't know, but that's all I know about is the knockout power. That's all I really know about too much about this guy. But anyway, other we have Dan Hooker, and I think Dan Hooker obviously is kind of a lost to Armin Sarukian. Bad loss. You know that fight was heated a little bit. A heated background, heated build up to that fight, and he lost. Got finished. Not great. But I do think, you know what? I think Dan Hooker, I want to see him get a win. I want to see him beat this guy. No offense to Parnasse. Could be a close fight. But this guy's debuting, UFC debut. Like I want this guy's promise as well. But I do want to see Dan Hooker get a win here. I would take Dan Hooker to win. We know what Dan Hooker does. Like stand and bang. This guy probably likes to stand and bang too. But I'll take Dan Hooker in exchange, bro. Hear me out. Just hear me on this one. I don't care what people say. Dan Hooker could definitely win this fight for sure. Next up, we have, obviously I was talking about Joaquin Buckley versus Mike Malott, welterweight fight, main event for UFC Edmonton. And Mike Malott's moving the rankings, bro. He's moving up for sure. He beat Gilbert Burns. Obviously Gilbert Burns retired after that fight, so it was a retirement fight. He's on a bad losing streak, but this fight is still a really good fight, bro. You know, Joaquin Buckley has the wrestling, but I feel like this fight, you can like Buckley's gonna try to take Malott down, but I think I want to see this fight on the feet. But this fight, he's on the feet. Malott's gonna outstrike Buckley for sure. You know, Malott has KO power. He's kind of chinny a little bit too, a little bit. He's been knocked out a couple times, so Buckley could catch him. But I do think this fight, Buckley's gonna try to take him down, and I think Malott beats Buckley. He's in the top 10, bro. He's coming for the belt. He's coming for the belt. And I've always been a fan of Mike Malott too. Always been a fan. I know it's still in a Magny, but who cares, bro? This main event is really good. I'll get into it more when I build the card, but this is a really good fight. I like this main event. Not a bad main event. But I did think he's gonna fight Leon Edwards, but I was wrong. He's not. He's not gonna fight Leon. Hopefully, we see Leon Edwards fight soon. I do want to see who they're gonna match him up against, but we don't know yet. Let's move on. I'm gonna give credit to Brett MMA here. I saw on Instagram. Edmund Shabazian. Fight news for Edmund Shabazian against Bruno Ferreira. It's kind of crazy because Edmund Shabazian fought in June. He had a bloody fight with Brendan Allen, bro. He's coming right back. Right back in UFC 331, which is happening in September. Pretty sure. Yeah, it should be happening in September. But this fight, these two guys are going to stand and bang. We know Shabazian's going to stand and bang. And I'm going to take Shabazian in this fight, bro. He stood and bang with Brandon Allen. Brandon Allen couldn't knock it out, couldn't finish him, which is surprising because Brandon Allen's a top ranked middleweight, which is crazy. Top five ranked middleweight. He couldn't finish unranked Edmund Shabazian, which is kind of crazy. But I do think this fight is going to stay on the feet. And I'm going to take Edmund Shabazian here by like a finish. I like Bruno Ferreira. He's coming off by Ikram Aliskerov. I mean, first kind of weak to the takedowns and stuff like that. Through the grappling exchanges, yeah, Aliskerov. Aliskerov just, wrestling him down. Yeah, striking him on the feet. Just beating him up. Winning. Dominating in that fight. That's really why Ferreira lost. But I'll take Edmund Shabazian. If I can stay on the feet, Shabazian might have like a round one finish, bro. Trust me. Shabazian's coming, bro. He's coming to get back in the rankings, bro. Trust. And for the last thing, we have two other fights that have been announced today, bro. I'm excited, bro. We have a lot of fighting coming out, bro. A lot of fighting coming out. For the first fight, we have Matias Camilo versus Jai Hilbert. I know Matias Camilo's coming off a very upset win over Nazim Sadikov, and I did have him winning that fight too, but like a crazy finish. And he people were saying it's early stoppage, but the way Sadikov fell down, he looked like he was knocked out, bro. So come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on. But anyways, we can get into Camilo first. He does have a lot of first round finishes in the UFC. He is a fighter who likes to push forward in fights. He likes to speed up his fights, get into it people quickly, not a slow fight. He likes to get into it, bro. He's a well-rounded guy. He has grappling ability. He could take down Herbert in this fight, Jai Herbert, but I do think this fight's gonna stay on the feet here. Now, Jai Herbert, he's pretty tall for a lightweight. He's 6'1", long reach. He has good punches. He has knees, and he's a counter striker in his fights. And he has 10 knockouts, bro. So this guy can knock out anybody he needs to, bro. And he's faced a good amount of UFC competition. Good competition in the UFC. And he's faced high pressure guys before in the UFC. This is not his first time facing a guy like Matias Camilo. So this will be a nice fight to watch. Interesting. I forget what it's gonna be at, but something like that. And then Malcolm Wamaker versus Otari Tentalovi. This fight is going to be on like a Apex card, a Vegas card, whatever. And Malcolm Wamaker, we obviously has come off a 2-loss streak. I like Wamaker a lot in this fight because Tentalovi, he fought Shane Collins. I feel like if Wamaker, if he can stand on the feet and try not to get taken down by Tentalovi, he can definitely win this fight. But at the same time, bro, Tentalovi is a relentless wrestler, bro. He has Marab in his corner, first of all, bro. Marab's in his corner. Georgian guy, bro. He's going to keep on taking him down. That's what he's trying to do in the Shane Collins fight. And Shane Collins just ended up striking him and, reversing the takedowns. That's really why he won the fight. But Malcolm Wamaker knows that, like, if Malcolm Wamaker trains enough to stuff this takedowns, he can definitely win this fight and just outstrike Tentalovi on the feet and win by decision, bro. I'll say Michael Wamaker. He should train on his ground game a lot and try not to get taken down by Tentalovi too much. Towards Tentalovi wins by control time, and that'd be really bad. I want to see Michael Wamaker lose 3 fights in a row because this guy's an upcoming prospect. He was I still have faith in Wamaker to reverse this and come back and go on a win streak, bro, and make his way up the division, getting the rankings for sure. Not winning a belt, but getting rankings for sure. Definitely, this guy can definitely be up there in the future, but. Sure, he needs to watch out for Tentalovi's ground game. He's a relentless wrestler. He always tries to take people down. He can strike on the feet, but if it's not working for him, he'll go to wrestling instantly, bro. Or in the beginning of the fight, just go to wrestling and try to finish you off on the ground. It's whatever he wants to do, really. But interesting fight. Like this, gonna be on a Apex card like later Octoberish, Novemberish, maybe probably around there. Anyways, boys, if you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. More UFC fighting stuff going to be coming out this week, bro. Trust me. More fights are going to come out. More and more. I'm going to add them to, some videos I do. Talk about some of these fights I like seeing. But anyways, it is 3 a.m. in the morning right now. And I did decide to sit down and record this, But anyways, let's just, end it off. End it off here. If you enjoy, like, subscribe. If you have recommendations, like I've been saying in these videos, if you have recommendations, I'll take them, I'll listen to them, and I'll go over them if you want. It depends on what the stuff is. If I have time to fit it into all the video ideas I have scheduled. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, stay tuned for more. And peace.